Hey, thanks for stopping back again. It's me, Robert. As I said in the introduction, we're going to be looking at some ways of understanding how we get stuck in our lives, how we can get sick by being stuck, and we're going to look at some ways of getting unstuck and recovery. So, first, I'd like to start with getting stuck. Getting stuck is something that can happen very easily in our lives, or it could happen over time. It doesn't take much to actually trigger somebody, and then again, it could take a lot. You see, we all have different coping abilities, and through life's general ups and downs, we kind of realize that sometimes we go outside of our coping abilities box. Some people manage to cope fine with deaths, loss, relationship loss. Some people manage to cope really well with a job loss and financial stress. Some people can really push it aside and get through, and then there's others who can't. Some of us, we could suffer a severe traumatic, event in our life. Could be an abuse, could be a death or a loss, could be a relationship loss, and we kind of hold on to it. Can't let it go. It weighs heavy on us. Some of us, we what we call by time or by erosion, could have a lot of little things that kind of come together, and it could be bad relationship. It could be financial stress. It could be getting laid off from work. It could be a lot of different little things that come together. And once they're all together, they're one big heavy weight. Now, with saying that and talking about weight, I'd like to give you an analogy on mental health and getting stuck by using a glass of water. So, picture holding up a glass of water in your hand. And when you hold that glass of water in your hand, it weighs no more 8 ounces, 10 ounces. Uh, you look at it and you say, well, geez, there's nothing. I can hold this up all day long. Well, you'll quickly find out that after 5 minutes, your arm starts to get a little tired. After 10 minutes, your arm starts to drop a little bit. After 20 minutes, your arm starts to get a bit numb. And if you can make it to an hour, you can barely hold that glass of water up. Now, by saying that, what I mean is simple fact that if we hold things inside and we tend to keep them inside and we hold them, the longer we hold them, the heavier those things are going to weigh on us. Just like trying to hold up that glass of water, it mightn't be much weight at first, but the longer we hold it in, the heavier it's going to get. So, getting stuck is kind of it's a way of what we like to say at Better Days Support Society. We dig a hole. We get stuck in that hole. A lot of us in our lives, when we can't cope with issues, and the issues kind of build up on us, they pile up and they weigh us down. Finally, we realize that our current situation, we're very unhappy with. We're so unhappy with it that what happens is, if we can't change our situation, what do? We change ourselves. And this is where a mental breakdown comes in. This is where a chemical imbalance happens. This is where disorders like bipolar disorders and depressions and anxieties come out. This is where borderline personality disorders come out. It's this change in ourselves mentally because we cannot keep up with coping, or trying to cope, sorry, with the current situation that we're in, which is being very unhappy. Uh, a good way to really, really look at it when you say you're stuck in a hole is to say to yourself, stop digging. And I know it's easier said than done, because those of us who have suffered with bipolar disorders or depressions or anxieties, myself, bipolar type 1 disorder, it was always easier to keep digging than it was to stop digging. The sicker I got, the sicker it seemed like I made myself, basically. And it was like I said in the introduction, it was my perspective on myself. It was my perspective of seeing myself as being sick, seeing things as being, the end all be all of the end of it. Um, I saw things as, I'm not going to recover. I'm going to have this illness forever. I'm going to, wake up every day sick. I'm never ever going to be able to function like I used to be able to. And the more I told myself things like that, the stucker I got, or I should say, sorry, proper grammar, the more stuck I became. Uh, I like to think that myself in getting stuck there was a number of factors. A lot of my factors when I did get stuck was, like I said in the introduction, emotional. It was holding on to all those things I couldn't let go. And like I said in the introduction as well, the meanings and the feelings that I put to those events and situations in my life is what caused me to actually mentally break down because I couldn't let go of them and I kept them inside until they literally ate me up inside. I couldn't get the words out to describe it. I started cutting myself. I became suicidal 3 different times. I attempted suicide. I couldn't handle it no more. Became very sick. I was so stuck that I figured I was never ever going to become unstuck. And I know many people suffer the same way. I help many people that are really stuck in their lives, and it's when we change their perspective on how they see themselves and how they can see themselves recover that they truly do begin to recover. So this is a little bit of negative talk. We're talking about getting stuck, and this is kind of a bad place to be. Well, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so it's one way of putting it, and it's a good way to see things. So I would like you guys to understand that not only is it genetics, not only is it a chemical imbalance, but that all plays into factor with the fact that we have to deal with our emotions and our feelings and meanings that we put to the situations and the events that have happened in our life, our current circumstances. Our circumstances right now, give you an example, could be somebody that's in a stalemate relationship. They're getting very down, getting very depressed over it, and after a while, they have a full-blown onset of depression. It ate them up so much, got to them so much they couldn't take it no more. You know, People get stuck for one thing, or they could get stuck on a number of things. They could get stuck immediately. It could be traumatic. It could be a death, a sudden death, a tragedy, or it could be a number of factors that weigh together over time, which we call erosion. So I hope you guys understand that getting stuck is all about not dealing with the issues in our past, situations, the events, the things that are holding us back and that we cannot let go of, right? So enough said. I think you get the picture. Our next segment, we're going to kind of look at a couple analogies on being stuck and where we can go while we're being stuck to look towards recovery. And I hope you enjoy. So, ciao for now.